What's up, guys? Welcome back to our podcast. It's been a little while since we've been with you guys. Happy New Year. Hope y'all had a Merry Christmas, holidays.
Glad to be with you guys.
It's February.
It's a little late to say Happy New Year. I think there's rules.
What are the rules?
After like the second week, you can't say Happy New Year anymore. In February, for sure.
Best of luck in 2023 then. But 2022 was good.
It was great.
I mean, let's talk about it.
Yeah, we
for a
killed
second.
it. Gosh, I know we talked about this at our anniversary episode, but we've got 10 people in our office. We're up to 80 listings, something like that.
Yeah.
2 million plus square feet that we're responsible for.
Yeah, well over for sure. Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Then I think we've got a handful of new tenants that we've signed up. You know, new QSR. We've got fast casual restaurants. A couple of nice high-end stuff. The Asian group that we might be coming to town. I think in total we've got 50
tenants.
I think that's right, that we're working with, if we can find them homes.
That's the problem, is like we have 50 tenants, which is awesome that we have 50 tenants. Most of them new to market that like want to be in Memphis, but
there's nowhere to put them.
I don't know where to put them. So
they should build more shopping centers.
That's a good idea.
I wonder why there's not more shopping centers being built.
Well, there's also not much land.
That's true.
You know, everybody wants to be between. I mean, we had a meeting like 2 days ago, and they're like, well, we're pretty flexible. We want to be on Poplar in East Memphis or Germantown. I was like, oh, that's a good idea.
Everybody else wants to be there too. It's not the first time I've heard that.
Yeah, so that's the problem.
I think we should talk a little bit about the hot topics, at least from closing out 2022 and what people are thinking about in 2023. You know, inflation and interest rates and how that's affecting us, and maybe how that affects Memphis too.
Yeah, that is the hot topic. I mean, everybody, interest rates, inflation's all scary, but inflation, is driving costs and driving the labor market, and it's weird, but like more directly interest rates, right? I mean, we have people trying to buy homes and people trying to buy shopping centers and office buildings and people trying to build things and tenants trying to build out spaces, and the interest rates are just making it really hard. And it's not even where the interest rates are. It's almost more like the uncertainty of where the interest rates will be.
Right.
And so when the feds come out and they're like, oh yeah, we're going to raise them again, another 25 basis points or 50 basis points or 75 basis points. It's like, but then when are they, and will they go down? And, it just, if you can't calculate, I mean, this is more commercial than it is like a residential home buyers. Like if you can't calculate your exit, like you can't do it.
Gridlock.
For sure.
You made an interesting data fact earlier about homeowners.
Yeah, it's like 80. Christy Ryan actually shared this with me at lunch the other day. It was 80% of homeowners with mortgages have an interest rate of less than 4%. And so
what does that mean?
Well, that means is like right now I think we're like at 6 ish, call 6.5, whatever. But like, no one's going to buy or move just because they want to. Like it's gonna have to be forced. It's gonna be death, divorce, new home, baby, family growing, so it's gonna be these life events that are like gonna force people to have to move, as opposed to the past 5 years where somebody's like, oh, well, my house just appreciated $50,000. Like, let me go capitalize on that and buy a house that's 2 bedrooms bigger or whatever. It's gonna have to be really like more, need-based as opposed to want-based. And so that's what it means.
So for, I guess, the first part of 2023, or maybe even December of 2022, there weren't many residential transactions, but it feels like it's coming back.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you talk to most of I think it's going to, weed out I
think it's going back to normal.
Yeah.
We were on fire for 2020, 2021, early 2022. I think it's going to normalize.
I think so. And it's the same thing with commercial.
Yeah.
I mean, commercial hasn't been impacted, I don't think, as much as residential has, because there's still growth and there's still money that has to be placed, and that the need is there greater in the commercial world because people have the funds that they have to place, and people are in 1031s that they have to move, and they're 1031 exchange, if you know,
we could do a whole episode on that. Probably.
If you don't know, we'll talk later. So you have that need that's greater than you do in the residential side. You have concepts that are needing to, the franchises are buying and they're needing to expand, and so it can be overcome a little bit, but it's still slowing stuff down.
Well, you say that, but it's interesting. You're talking about construction costs being up, interest rates being up. People, gridlocked on making decisions on placing money because they can't calculate an exit, right? But we're on fire this year.
That's true.
I mean, we picked up 5 tenant accounts this Monday. Yeah, right.
Good point.
So it's not like it's not Memphis, at least in Memphis.
No, Memphis
is growing. It's happening. We've got.
Well, that's true. I mean, that's a good point. I mean, our market specifically, I think, has not really felt that. I mean, we didn't have quite the boom that some other markets did a few years ago, but now we are 100%. And so while they're all trying to, like, in this kind of stagnant, like, figuring out, oh no, have we overbuilt, over leveraged, we're like prime.
Right. And we've got 4 really cool projects that we're working on that were already out of the ground or coming out of the ground. I think they started demolition on Williamsburg Village. By the time this comes out,
hopefully we're going vertical.
Yeah, hopefully, right.
Yeah, I was up at the actually next door at the iBank building yesterday or earlier this week, and it was kind of wild to, like, look down and see the actual demo site. I mean, it's a huge project, right in the middle of the city. So, I mean, we were talking about earlier, like on Poplar. I mean, it's technically on Mendenhall, but it is on Poplar in East Memphis. Like, it is main and main, and just to see this huge site, it's going to be a new 20,000+ square foot building, or a couple of buildings, was nuts. So,
and it's amazing how much traction we've got on it. You know, we might have that thing pre-lease before it's finished.
I think so. I hope so.
If you want to be in there, you need to call us.
Yeah,
we're running out of room.
It's going to be cool. And the thing about this, we just have to be intentional too. I mean, the beauty of having a site that's so good and so strong and so in demand is
we can make a great tenant mix. Yeah. I mean, just like we did across the street.
For sure.
Yeah. And then Schilling in Collierville. Which is
almost pre-leased.
It's vertical, yeah. We got SOB signed up out there. Crumble Cookie, yeah. We've got a best-in-class Mexican restaurant that I think we'll get out there.
That'll be first to market. That'll be a new concept in the market, which is really cool.
Yeah. Maybe a pizza place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Which would also be awesome.
So, anyway, lots of good stuff for Collierville. They'll love that.
I think so. And then we have some services that'll go out there to complement, hopefully some kind of health and wellness centric stuff, maybe some fitness.
Yeah.
But we really activate that and kind of make that. I mean, it's 50 acres. It's never been touched. It's never been developed, and we're about to turn it into like an entertainment district, which is kind of wild to think about.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. And then a little bit further ahead, but phase 2, Lakeland Town Square.
That's right. Yeah.
In Lakeland.
Which that. They've got the dirt work done. They're going to be going vertical on that soon.
Yeah.
It's a big project out there. It's on Highway 70, which is the main thoroughfare out to Blue Oval. It's amazing how much traction we've gotten there too. New out parcels. They got the liquor store going out there.
Yeah, well, that's wild because like 70 has always been like very residential, and it's not ever been like considered a main commercial corridor. But now, because of Blue Oval and because of the rooftops and kind of that infill and the fact that we're just out of land for commercial, like that whole stretch. I mean, phase 1's almost 100% leased.
Yep.
And then phase 2, we're doing the leasing, so obviously it'll be 100% leased very soon.
It's funny. I had Catherine, our admin, make an aerial map that shows future development around that center.
Yeah.
It is unreal how many developments are coming out of the ground in Lakeland. And
thousands of rooftops.
Most of those were planned prior to Blue Oval.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens after.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, and that's one of those where that's a need-centric thing because of Blue Oval. So interest rates won't matter. I mean, they'll matter, but they won't matter.
Right.
Because we have to have them.
Right.
People are going to have to move there.
Yeah.
So.
What else are we working on? Cycle Shop?
Cycle Shop's finally like coming to fruition, which is so cool.
Yeah.
And we've talked. I know we've mentioned it before on the show, but it's one of the projects that Chestnut and Ethan Knight and his group are doing, and it's it's a historic building.
It used to be the Oberlin Car Company, I think is what it was, their headquarters. Yeah. It's beautiful inside. All that tile work on the floor, and
which they're going to restore. Like, it's a historic building, so like keeping all the tile. It's a beautifully finished floor that they're going to be able to preserve, and they're redoing all the brick to match what it was historically. Tons of glass. It's going to be really cool. And then hopefully we're working with a really neat restaurant group.
Yeah, they're first to market too.
Yeah,
it'd be very cool.
Really best in class type concept.
Yeah.
So, and then we have a couple office tenants that'll go there as well to kind of fill in the mixed use vibe that's been created over there.
Yeah. So man, it's cool to see all that stuff down there.
For sure. It's all coming to fruition. Yep. It sounds like more and more, I mean, it feels like every day more and more projects are coming up there. The university lofts, they've demoed that whole Holidays building.
That's right. Yeah.
Already. And so that was kind of wild. I mean, that was a big building, and it's going to be an even bigger building once it's done. So anyway, we got a lot of projects going. It's going to be interesting to see how 2023 continues to play out. I mean, I said things are weird, and it's,
they'll probably continue to be weird, until until the second half of the year, I'm guessing, until we understand what's going on with interest rates. But
sure. Maybe Memphis is a little weird though. Maybe that's our competitive advantage. We're in our normal, right?
Yeah.
This is our normal groove. So we'll see.
Rest of 2023, I know we said it's going to be weird, but I think it's going to be great in Memphis. It's going to be a lot of opportunity for business. Anybody that's got a New Year's resolution to start a business or
grow the business,
do something new with their life.
Real estate.
We always talk about all the calls that we make, selling Memphis and recruiting all these cool restaurants or retail concepts to town, and a lot of them want to be here.
Yeah,
but they just don't have a franchisee.
Most of them want to be here.
Yeah. So if you are looking to open a business in Memphis or have a business or looking to expand or just want to own a franchise and need some ideas, so you give us a shout. There's opportunities.
Sure.
We'd love to help.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Great being with you all today. We look forward to next time.